Hello and welcome to the 10th episode of Charity Cup Chats. This week I'm so happy to be joined by former Southend loanee Sam Hart. Sam, how are you?
Yeah, really good, mate. I'm looking to beat Taylor's. Yeah, that's what we do, mate. We have a little competition about absolutely everything, whether it's golf, we'll have a little comp.
Cool. So obviously before we start, this is all for charity, the Justin Edward Foundation and Havens Hospice. Like yesterday, we surpassed £900. So if you are enjoying, please do help us get to 1,000. It'd be great. Sam, going to talk to you first about the one thing on everyone's mind, lockdown. How's it been for you?
Oh, mate, it's been horrible. It's been horrible, really. For somebody who likes being outside and being around people, obviously that's our job, really, just to be locked inside. Luckily, I've had my missus and a dog. I actually think I really would have struggled, but yeah, we got through it and we're out the other side now, thank God.
Yeah, and obviously you was on loan at Shrewsbury now, but that loan's obviously finished now that League One's done. Are you allowed to train with Blackburn? Because obviously they're a point behind the playoffs trying to get up. Are you allowed to be involved in that?
So today was actually my first day training there.
All right.
So obviously over the last 13 weeks, I think we've had like a little program to keep fit, and so obviously there was I think there's like a rule about loanees at the minute, but hopefully something will happen soon, which will allow me to play.
Yeah,
if they called upon.
Yeah, you're a bit nervous about that. Obviously, like scared that it would have slowed down your like progression as a player.
Not really. Obviously, being around Blackburn, it's an amazing club. There's amazing people there, whether that's the manager or the players. So just to be back in and around it, really, with all the people. And obviously, I think obviously the better players you play with, the better you get.
Yeah.
And I'll always strive to play at that level and above. So for me, it's just about really trying to kick on and just trying to learn from the people who are there. And yeah, if we can get a game, then happy days.
Yeah. So obviously, you're going to go back now to your childhood. You was at not one but two elite academies, Man United and Liverpool. What's that like for you as a youngster growing up?
Yeah, it was amazing for me. Obviously, I joined United when I think I was about 9 years old, maybe a little bit younger. Obviously, it was a childhood dream, really. Always supported Liverpool, but I was at United. Met some really good friends. Obviously, still in contact with quite a few of them, actually. And then I loved every minute of it, from the coaches. Learned so much football-wise. And then you got to 16, and obviously the scholarships were getting given out. And obviously, I felt a little bit short at United. But I didn't really let it affect me, to be fair. Liverpool called straight away and said, look, we want to have a look at you, we want to see what you like. And I went there. And the under-16 manager at the time was is Rangers assistant manager now. He's called Michael Beale. Unbelievable guy, an unbelievable coach. And I learned so much from him. And as soon as I met him, I just literally just forgot about everything and just became such a more confident player. And just kicked on, really. And then literally never looked back at Liverpool. I enjoyed every single minute of it. Met amazing people, played in front of amazing managers. I played in front of Brendan, Jurgen, it was something I've obviously dreamed of. It was just amazing to be part of, really.
Yeah, and obviously whilst you was at Liverpool, you got loaned out to Port Vale. Whilst at Vale, you made your debut against Millwall playing left wing. Do you still remember your debut?
I do, yeah. I think I was quite young when I made that debut. I remember the day before, the left wing getting injured in training. I thought nothing of it. It was like my first week. I thought, I'll be all right. It won't be me. And he said, look, I want you to try and do a job. And I think that's probably, still to this day, I think that's probably one of the best games I've ever played. It was just play with a lot of freedom and just really try to express myself. So, yeah, looking back, Port Vale was amazing for me. Obviously, just being a young guy, getting out, really learning the game. Because obviously, it's not all fairy tales of academies. There's League One, League Two. Obviously, they're different.
Yeah. And then you scored your first goal in a 3-1 defeat against Bolton. If I'm not mistaken, you're a Bolton fan, aren't you?
I am, yeah. It was great. All my family was there. Me and my dad and my brother used to have a season ticket for years and years and years until obviously football got a bit serious. So, but yeah, we always used to watch the games obviously when there's in the Premier League, and obviously to score in front of my family at Bolton was amazing.
Yeah. And then it didn't quite work out at Liverpool. You were signed by Blackburn. Were there any other teams in for you at that point?
Well, it was really last minute. I wasn't. I think he had another year on my deal at Liverpool. Wasn't really looking to move on, and then I got a call from the agent just saying, "Look, Blackburn are really interested here. Obviously, it's deadline. It was deadline day, and I think it really got confirmed at about 4:00 in the afternoon. So obviously, I couldn't even go say bye to Liverpool. Couldn't do nothing. Couldn't pick my boots up. It was literally sign the papers and then get started at Blackburn. So I think all that went through about 9:30. So it was anxious. Obviously, I was buzzing for it really. Thought it was going to be a new chapter, new people. Obviously, League One team that was pushing really for promotion, which he ended up getting deservedly. But yeah, it was a stressful day, but we got it done.
Yeah, and then in the January of that season, you moved to Rochdale, but you didn't play too much. What did you find of your time there? Did you learn anything?
It was a difficult loan, really. They were scrapping for their lives at the bottom, and I don't think the manager at that time trusted me that much. But he loved me as a player, which is weird. He always used to really, really confuse me. But I remember in the summer I was on the golf course with one of my friends, and the manager rang me and just said, "Look, Sam, I'm really interested in taking you." So obviously, I think I went back the next year, and then I played and I never looked back really. So I think the first time was a bit of a learning curve. Obviously, I think it's the first time I've ever been like a relegation battle in men's football, which is obviously as a footballer you should be prepared for anything, but I think it is tougher than what people actually imagine. Confidence for people plays a massive part when you're in the bottom half of the table. So yeah, I'd say a lot. I probably learned more not playing than actually playing, which is crazy.
Yeah, and obviously at the end of the 2018 season, the survival race went down to the last day. You came on in the 86th minute. Obviously, Joe Thompson scored the winner after recovering from cancer. Just how special was that day for you and as a club?
Yeah, obviously it was amazing for the club. But I say to anyone that day was Joe Thompson's day. He's an amazing guy. I've never met anyone like him. He's the most humble, nicest guy. He's always got time for you. Always say hello. Always willing for a chat. He still messages randomly now, just saying, "How are you getting on? You all right?" And he's I think he's a role model for anyone growing up. He's beat cancer twice, and yet still came back to play professional football, and then kept a team in League One, scoring a very, very good goal. Obviously, he's not playing football anymore now, but I think he could do, because I think that guy would, if he puts his mind to anything, he could achieve anything.
Yeah, so we're going to move forward now up to Southend, January 2019. How did that loan move come about? Because obviously, if I'm right in thinking, you was called back by Blackburn a month earlier.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, so I got called back, and then I was just training with the first team just every day. And I thought, I need to get out here. I need to go play games. So it came about. I think came out the blue really. Was just training one day, and then my agent called me, saying Southend were interested in taking you. It's a long way. Would you be up for it? I was like, yeah, 100%. I'd love to. And then I remember Tony Mowbray's calling me and just saying, like, obviously it's a long way. You have to move down really. Are you up for that? Obviously, and he says he knows Chris Powell really well. He says he's a really good manager, he's a really good guy. He was a left back in his prime. It'll really help you. I think it'll do you well. So I didn't really hesitate. I think that day I was driving the 5-hour journey down. So yeah, I never really looked back. Loved it.
Yeah, and what was your first impressions of the club, like the manager, the owner, the squad?
Well, to be fair, I didn't. Obviously, I played them a couple of times, and I always thought it was a great team, but I didn't really know that much about them. Obviously, I knew a lot about Chris Powell being in England and international and stuff. And I knew a couple of the players. But as soon as I got there, like, unbelievable bunch. As soon as I got in there, obviously, for me, it was a bit strange being down south. Can't lie, it was a mad change for me, being a northern boy. But yeah, as soon as I got in there, everyone looked after me. Went straight to meet the manager. Unbelievable man. I can't even speak highly enough of him. But yeah, didn't really meet the chairman really till later on. But yeah, he's a great guy as well. He really looks after his lads.
Yeah. So your first week at the club, we played Bradford away. On the morning of the Bradford game, we announced the signing of Stephen Humphreys, who you was with at Rochdale. Did you both kind of help each other settle in at first?
Well, to be fair, I remember him texting me just saying, like, have you gone down to Southend? He was like, what's it like? And then from that message, I kind of knew that there could have been a little move pending. So I think like you say, I've been there a week. Obviously, I got to know the people, got to know like the manager. I think I kind of, I'm not being an agent here, but I think I have sold him the move to come down there. Yeah, and so obviously I knew Steve really well. Knew he was a great guy. And he was a great player. And knew he really could help the team. So yeah, when he came, I was buzzing. Really good guy. Got on well. So yeah.
Yeah, and obviously in January, when we was talking to Taylor Moore, we're like 9 points from the playoffs, but also 9 points from relegation. On your debut, we win 4-0 against Bradford. You must have been looking forward to the rest of the season.
Well, when we got in that dressing room after full time, I thought we're in there. We're on the way up. We're going up. Not to be, but I wouldn't change what happened for the world. Really, I think it was unbelievable what happened. But like I say, Bradford, obviously, Stevie Humphrey, Mance, unbelievable goals. I remember just thinking, like, we have a signing there with Barca. I actually couldn't believe it. I was thinking, agents pulled it out of the bag, yeah, flying. But yeah, it was a hell of a game. I remember it well. Didn't really play very well, but the team really got me out of jail. Obviously performing so well. So yeah.
Yeah, well, with me and my mates went, they actually thought you was one of our best players that day. So.
Oh no, I had a ropey first month, I think, but then I grew into it.
Yeah, and obviously talking about Stephen Humphreys, did anyone else help you settle in? Obviously, we're going to come on to someone in a bit, but did anyone else help you settle in at the club?
So I remember on my first day, I turned up and I turned up about 10 o'clock at night because obviously didn't really sign to the morning. But the manager texted me and said, "Look, there's another Manchester lad staying in your hotel, Harry Bunn. Just get in the car with him, meet him, and obviously like he'll take you around, meet everyone and stuff." So Bunny was amazing, really. Obviously, Bunny's got a bit of experience on me, and yeah, picked me up in the morning, didn't stop talking, walked me around everywhere, showed me everything, and yeah, I really got on with Bunny. We shared a lot of long drives together up north, but I'd say he helped me quite a bit. More than people think, obviously being an older head and obviously being northern as well. So yeah, but yeah, I think that.
Yeah, and we're going to talk now about Taylor Moore.
Don't talk to me about him.
So when I was talking to him, he literally described you as his best mates for life. He said that it was too, he couldn't talk about it on camera, but if you could, your best moment with Taylor.
Oh, mate. Well, to be fair, I can't really think of any. He's a pain in my life, mate. I'm telling you that. He comes down to my house with my missus, and he'll eat every single bit of food in my house, every single time, and then just walks away like nothing's happened.
Uses you for food.
Exactly, mate. He does. It's ridiculous. Takes me clothes, does everything. But like I say, as soon as I met him, really, we just got on. I don't know why that is, whether that's similar ages or similar career paths. I'm not too sure. But he was staying in the hotel, and obviously, when you're living in a hotel, it's kind of a lonely place. So me, him, and Harry Bunn kind of just got on so well because obviously we was all together every night, really, watching football, and yeah, the friendship really stemmed from there. So recently, we've golfing, mate, fishing. We've done a lot. But yeah, like you say, he's a best mate for life now.
Yeah. So we're going to talk now about the Portsmouth game. 3-0 down live on Sky. And then you assist Simon Cox for it was sort of a consolation goal just for half-time.
Yeah.
Do you remember what was said at half-time? Because we looked dead and buried, but obviously ended up getting a point.
Well, I think we actually started that game really well, and we just conceded horrible goals. Like, I remember the first goal, I was mortified watching it back. Jamal Lowe, I tried to slide tackle him and missed. Just try to bring him down, really, just to stop his momentum, because he's a great player. To be fair, Jamal Lowe, but he got past, skipped it, whatever. I think crossed, and then someone finished it. But what I would say is about that team, that no matter how many we were losing, I would never write us off, because there weren't any quitters in that team. Obviously, I've played in quite a few teams now, being on loan, and there are, obviously, you do pick up on who's going to be there till the end, and I would never ever pick anyone in that team to think, yeah, he's going to quit on me. And so it wasn't really a surprise when we started scoring, and then I always remember that the Coxey goal, the little Tim Dieng back heel, unbelievable. But yeah, I never really wrote us up the whole season.
Yeah, and I think that game was in March. Obviously, we'd been 2 months without a win. We were slowly falling down the table. Did you feel like that was a turning point for the team?
Yeah, no, really. Obviously, I think the confidence was starting to obviously at the Bradford, you're on a massive high. You're going in thinking, we're going for 6 games unbeaten here. And then obviously you start getting a couple of draws, start getting a lot. You start losing, you think, oof, are we on bad form, or what's going on here? And like you say, when the performances started to slip, really, and the results stopped coming our way, we started to think, oof. And like you say, confidence is a massive thing in football. And when you're not feeling confident, and when a team's not confident, it's really, really hard to perform on a high standard, really. And obviously, I think the fans is a massive thing. Every game we used to say, come on, playing in front of these unbelievable fans. They paid good money to come see us. Let's just give them something. And I think when it doesn't happen, it's horrible, because obviously, we're not happy, the fans aren't happy, everyone's going home sad, really. So when we did start losing, I think it was kind of a traumatic place, really, But unbelievable, like I say, unbelievable bunch. Obviously, we drowsed on it the Saturday, the Sunday, and then Monday we was ready to go again. We was ready for the next game and ready to try and win.
Yeah, so we talk about one draw where obviously we'd come from behind to get a point. The next game, well, not in order, but Blackpool. Obviously, a long way up, other side of the country. We're 2-1 up, literally about a minute to go.
Oh, my best mate comes on and scores an Oggy. Honestly, love the guy to pieces, but I'll never forgive him. I will never forgive him for that. I think it was unbelievable performance, that one. Unbelievable. I remember, I think it was Rob Kiernan's first game back, maybe.
Scored about 18 months.
18 months, yeah. Scored a goal. Who's the other one? Was it Turns?
Yeah, it was kind of like a volley on the corner, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I thought, yeah, this is it. This is where the tide's changing. Obviously, at the time, I think Chris Powell was under quite a bit of pressure.
Yeah.
So I was all thinking, yeah, because everyone loved Chris. I don't think anyone has a bad word to say about him. And then it's just a free-con goal, really. I terror him now for it, but to be fair, I don't think he could do anything about it. I think it took a ricochet and just bounced off his head. But yeah, it was unfortunate. I felt bad for him after. But obviously, it was a team. Obviously, it was disappointing at the time, but it was a team. We moved on and we carried on fighting.
Yeah, how much of a blow was that? Because obviously we're so close to getting our first win, and then literally out of nowhere.
Yeah, it was a blow, but it's football. It's there's up and downs in football, the highs and lows of it. Obviously, like I say, I think we could take more from the performance than maybe the 3 points. It definitely brought a lot of confidence back. Obviously, because Blackpool are a great team, they've got some great players, and we broke them down so easy there. And obviously, we defended probably better than we defended in weeks and weeks and weeks. So obviously, the result didn't go our way, but I'd say we take more from the performance than anything else.
Yeah. And then a few weeks later, we come to Peterborough, which ended up being Chris Powell's last game. I spoke to Taylor, he didn't think he did. But did you think Chris Powell had deserved a sack? Because obviously, parts of the season, we had more than half our squad out. We had freak injuries, suspensions. I think at one point we had 13 players out. Did you feel like he deserved a sack, or do you think if he had time, we would have turned it around?
It's a tough one, really. Obviously, I personally don't think he should have gone. Not because I was biased towards him, because I loved him as a coach and because he taught me so much, not because of that. But I genuinely think players were starting to come back towards the end. and I genuinely think we was actually improving, and the results were coming. But obviously, the chairman has to do his job. He has to make them difficult decisions. That's why he owns a football club at the end of the day. So he obviously thought it would be better, and he made the decision to obviously cut his contract short.
Yeah, and then he's replaced by Kevin Bond. What are your honest impressions of when you first came into contact with him?
Well, I'd say Chris and Kevin were completely different in terms of the management style. Kevin Bond worked ridiculously hard on, say, clips, and kind of changed a couple of things around. But he was a great gaffer, to be fair. We learnt a lot of him. Obviously, things were different from when we had Chris and when we had Kev. But like I say, I think he was a great coach, and I think maybe people got a bit of a kick out of the new gaffer. Maybe a bit more positivity. I'm not sure what it was, but I haven't got a bad word to say about either of them.
Yeah, and obviously Kevin was Harry Redknapp's assistant for most of his career, and Redknapp obviously came to the training ground a few times.
Yeah.
What was he like?
Yeah, he was honestly a really, really nice man. Obviously, he's been around the football. He knows his stuff, and he had a couple of conversations with me. Learned obviously only a couple of conversations, but you still take so much from them conversations. And I remember that the day we beat Sunderland, I was on an all-time high, mate, and I went in the office. So I was ending my loan, so I was saying, like, buzzing, but thanks for everything. And I remember him just saying to me, "Sam, stop letting that ball inside." I was thinking, obviously I'm in the high of the moment, but at the end of the day, it's coming from Harry Redknapp. Like, I had to stop, have a conversation with him, think about it, and then process it really, and then obviously carry on being happy. But that's the kind of people they were. I remember Kevin Bond the night after, about 10:15 at night. He was sending me clips of things that could have improved on of that game, which was just testament to the kind of people they were.
Yeah, and then obviously Kevin's first game was away at Fleetwood, 2-2 draw. I thought it was like the best we'd played in a long time. Were you confident as a team after that?
Yeah, we took so much confidence from that. Because obviously, like I said about Blackpool, Fleetwood, a great team. Joey Barton's done a hell of a job there. And I remember the game really well, actually. I'm not sure why that one stands out to me, but probably, like you say, probably because we played so well. And obviously, I thought we'd won it. I thought Luke had done it. Obviously, hell of a strike. But it wasn't to be again. But at the end of the day, we took so much positives. We all travelled on together. Not happy, but with a really positive vibe on the bus. Thinking, you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to be fine.
Yeah. And then I'm going to skip forward a bit to Walsall. Probably the worst game of the season for me. What do you remember about that day?
I remember being absolutely distraught. I remember everything about that decision so clearly. I felt horrible on John White. Obviously, he's a die-hard Southend fan, and obviously, what happened was just a freak really. I'll never forget it. I'll be forever angry with it. But it's just like I say, it's just football. These things happen all the time, and luckily it didn't affect us the way I thought it was going to affect us at that moment. But it's like I say, it's just football. These things happen. Referees, they got to make decisions, and he made a bad one.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be saying this now if we did actually get relegated in the end. I would be absolutely nailing him.
Yeah,
but luckily we didn't.
Was there ever a point during that game, not during that game, but after that game, where you felt like we actually had a chance of going down?
Never really. I remember always travelling on with Bunny, and we was always like doing calculations in our head and like looking at the table and looking at fixtures and who everyone was playing. So obviously maybe like a thought of, oh, this is going to be tight. But I've never had an inkling that it was going to go down. They always backed us because there was so much talent in that dressing room that maybe at times was just low on confidence. And it just needed to be pushed out of them.
Yeah, and then 3 days later, we had a chance to put things right at home against Burton. Probably, I was saying, the best atmosphere at Rootsall I'd heard for years. Could you feel that as a player?
Yeah, it was absolutely pumping. I remember, obviously, I think it was the day before, just scrolling down Twitter, and I just came across like the ticket sales, and I thought, oof, like there's a few coming tomorrow. And I think that straight away sends a message into the dressing room after the warm up. There's a really good vibe building. Obviously Burton was after their own things, I think, with the promotion push. But at the end of the day, I think the fans really helped us, because that game did get really tough towards the end. So, like I say, I think without the fans and without the atmosphere, I think we would have really struggled. And maybe like what happened a couple of times before, the wheels may have fallen off again. But luckily, the fans backed us, and we managed to get over the line.
Yeah, like you said, we win. It was our first win in 4 months, which meant we only needed 3 more points from 2 games. Last away game of the season, Rochdale away, over 1,000 fans. Probably the most annoying part of that day was the team sheet. You were dropped, obviously. What I remember for that game is we got hammered down the left-hand lane. Was you disappointed to be dropped?
I was absolutely gutted, mate. Obviously, the 3 points was only really on my mind, really. Travelling down, so I was thinking, look, if the boys do it, buzzing, like no problems. But I always remember just thinking, like, what have I done, really? What have I done wrong? But look, like I keep saying on this, it's just football. Managers have to make those tough decisions. I think maybe went with Hendo because a bit more defensive. But at the end of the day, it didn't really work out like that. It was a tough game. Obviously, Rochdale performed really well actually on the day, I remember. But it was kind of sad at the end of the day that all them fans had come all the way down there. We couldn't sort it then. And I think that's probably when people started panicking, thinking, "Oh, got Sunderland there." But to be fair, it never really crossed my mind that, and the people I was really close with, that was having conversation with, never really crossed theirs, to be honest. So yeah, it was obviously disappointing not to play Rochdale, but it's football.
Yeah. So we come to the final game of the season. Easy task of beating Sunderland live on Sky. Talk me through that week leading up to the game. Nervous?
It got gradually nervous, yeah. Obviously, towards the start of it, it was just a normal week, really. Just trying to prepare and get ourselves right. But obviously, towards the end of it, it kind of dawned on us, really, that we had to beat Sunderland to stay up, which obviously will cost people livelihoods at the end of the day. Will cost the club silly money for mistakes that probably we could have handled better. But the week was amazing. I remember going to Davy Lloyd, and there was such a buzz around Southend, really. Everywhere I went, there was a real big buzz. But I remember the day before, 2 days before, I think it was, Kevin Bond come over and just said, "Just so you know, you're going to play left wing, and Tails is going to play behind you." So obviously I was there like, "Oh, like it's different." So I told Tails, and Tails was like, "Sam, stop lying. I ain't playing left back. Relax." It's like, "No, mate, I've just been told you are, so get ready." And then like we did so much shape. We prepared as best as possible. We did everything we could. I remember we just went out there and just gave it everything we had.
Yeah. So, like you said, you start. We go 1-0 up. John White scissor kick.
Unbelievable. Don't mind it, John.
Yeah. What goes through your head at that point?
Obviously, it was just pure happiness, really. But at the end of the day, you got to realise who you've got in front of you. You're not playing no mugs. It's playing Sunderland, which they could. I think in some games maybe we got a little bit lucky, but they could hurt you at any moment. Like you switch off for 1 second, they'll punish. Obviously not had a great year this year, but last year they were really, really lively. And I remember just thinking, we all just need to stay switched on there. Just keep switched on. Look, 1-0 up, we're cruising. Obviously, I just remember the fans. It was absolutely unbelievable from the first minute. And then I remember absolutely everything about that day. It's carnage. Whenever I get down, really, I think about that day and just think about what happiness and what happiness it brought to not just me, but obviously to all the people at Southend that I still get messages about now. It's crazy, really.
Yeah, so 1-0 up, 70th minute, you get subbed off. You were done. You could do nothing else. How did you feel about that? Did you want to come off or did you want to keep on playing?
I would have loved to have carried on playing, but my legs are fully gone. Like I'd given absolutely everything I could. So I think the manager saw that. Obviously, playing left wing, I wasn't as defensive maybe as I should have been at left back. So I could have kept helping the team, but I ran myself into that ground just so at the end of the day I could always look back at myself and say, look, I couldn't have done any more. I did everything I could for that club. Same with Tails. I think Tails followed me off about 5-10 minutes later.
Yeah.
But I remember the standing ovation, and I just thought, look, I hope they can do it here, because there is a real sense of achievement about the loan that I had. So to put it to bed like it did, it honestly meant the world to me and my family, really.
Yeah. So just after you come off, we could see the penalty. Did you think that at that point we'd go down, or did you still have that hope that we'd be able to do it?
Without the fans, I would have struggled. But the fans and the noise that was in that stadium, I think the boys would have run through brick walls, really. And like I say, I would have backed us against absolutely anyone. The team we had, the team that was out there, and the team that was fighting was ridiculous, really. It shouldn't have been where it was in the table. But yeah, I was never really panicking. I was thinking, obviously with Humps on a pitch, you never know with him. If he's in the right position, Coxey, if they're in the right position, they won't miss. I'll be seeing that day in, day out. And I knew there was an opportunity to come in, whether it's to either of them, and it was just up to them to take it. And luckily, one of them did. Yeah,
like you said, 3 minutes to go, Stephen Humphrey scored. I don't think I've ever heard a roar at a football ground that loud. Just how do you describe that, if you can?
It was unbelievable. Like you said, noise. And I just looked at Tails, because obviously he was sat next to me, and I just thought, are we running down his touchline there? And we just both looked at each other and thought, nah, I've got nothing left to run down that touchline. So we just started jumping on each other, and we're just looking around, really, and just goosebumps. Obviously, then you get a real sense of nervousness, and you got 3 minutes to hang on for your lives. But we did it. So, happy days.
Yeah, and then obviously after the game, for last year's charity match, you very kindly donated your shirt, which ended up going for £250. So thank you for that.
No worries, mate. I think I've got another one signed off all the lads from the last day, so I'll drop that to you as well.
Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Oh, no worries, mate.
And then how do you describe that night from full-time all the way up to the next morning?
It was just a complete blur. I think the final whistle went and me and Tails ran into the middle. We got absolute bombarded. And then my brother and dad was at the game and knew exactly where they sat. They sat behind the goal. So I walked straight over, and it was just like seeing pure joy in the face, really. It was absolutely made up, not just for me, but for obviously what the club had accomplished. Yeah. I think my mum and dad, unbelievable for me. Like, I don't think they've missed the games since I was probably like 10 years old. They've been at every single game, whether it's in Bolton in the backyard or whether it's in Southend. It was so to have them there to witness what they witnessed was just amazing.
Yeah. So obviously your time at Southend had come to an end. You won Player of the Month in March. Just how special was it for you personally? Like, how could you describe your time at Southend?
My time at Southend was absolutely unbelievable. It's probably the most I've ever enjoyed football, if I'm being honest. Obviously, I've had some real highs in football, but collectively with the months and months of football, I think what I had down there was something real special. Obviously, to top it off with staying up in the way we did, really topped it off. But I think like the love I got from day one, really, because I remember in the first month I had a real bad month, really, and Chris Powell stuck with me, and I hope, like I say to most people, I just hope I did justice for that, really.
Yeah, definitely. It's something I always say to my mates. I thought you was that player, you got better every game. Do you think that was as you got more confident, more settled in?
I'd say so, more confident, and obviously like when you go probably like months without playing first team football, it does affect you. not mentally, just I'd say more fit physically, with the demands of the game and men's football. So I think it did take me a little bit of time to real get up to speed. But like I say, to Chris Powell, like he's honestly, I couldn't speak highly of him. He's one of the nicest men and managers I've ever met. He would do absolutely anything for you. He's got time. Still text him now. And I remember texting him on the day just saying, look, that was for you. Thank you so much for everything you've done for me. And I think probably I'd say 99% of the lads would have done exactly the same.
Yeah.
But yeah, just loved every single minute of it. It was just an amazing time for me.
Yeah. And fans were very vocal about wanting you to return permanently. Was you interested in that? Like, obviously, you'd just come off the loan. Was there anything that went through you that went, I want to stay here?
Obviously, straight after, there was just so much happiness really surrounding my life. Obviously, just moving back to Manchester, I think probably for the next month, I was just on a massive high. At that time, I wasn't really thinking about anything towards football. Obviously, I was just thinking, enjoy my summer and then regroup and then get ready. I always had that thing in my head. Obviously, like, I was seeing Tales's thing. I'd say exactly the same to him. My dream is to play at the highest level possible. So I thought to myself, look, obviously, I think the club had been in touch about, I don't know if it's a loan or a permanent signing. But I said, look, I'm going to give it a chance at Blackburn. If it's not going right, then I'll make that move. Whether it is a loan or a permanent signing, I will make that move. Because I really did genuinely believe that they will be pushing promotion. So obviously, pre-season at Blackburn took me by real surprise. I really grew into the pre-season and had a meeting with obviously Tony Mowbray to discuss what he thought was best for me, whether it was to go on loan or whether it was to stay there. And he basically said, look, I want you to stay and fight for your position. I think your pre-season's been good enough to suggest that you can play at this level. And it was about a week before and I pulled my hamstring. Yeah. Which absolutely killed me. Obviously, then it was a fight really to try and beat the transfer window. And I think I got probably fit a couple of days before the transfer window without really kicking a ball around. So I did try and push it then a little bit to try and get down there. But obviously, I think by that time you'd already sorted yourself with I think Nathan Ralph.
Yeah.
Yeah. So look, it's football, like I say, and I had a great 6 months at Blackburn until January, just getting ready, really, just playing 23s football. Obviously, it's not the best for me, because you want to play men's football, but it got me ready, really, just to try and kick on at January plus.
Yeah, like you said, you was doing really well in pre-season, and then obviously to have that injury. How much of a blow was that for you?
It was heartbreaking. I remember just coming on really and just being absolutely devastated. Pre-season's tough for any footballer. It's a really, really hard part of the year. Obviously, not just the running, but it's days and days and days and days of it. It's really, really repulsive, and it doesn't really let up. Maybe looking back now, I could have maybe done more to recover a bit better, but it was honestly heartbreaking. I remember I think it was like probably the last pre-season game we played Bury, and I remember it just buckled, and I just thought, oh no, like please don't. And I got up and I tried to carry on and just thought, nah, it's gone. So luckily it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was at the time. But like I say, once you get one of them injuries, it's really, really tough to come back quick and effectively. Really, you got to do the time with the physios.
Yeah, and if my research is right, your contract's up this year.
It is, yeah. So I've just signed basically what most of the Blackburn lads have done, just the extension just to the end of the championship season. So yeah.
Yeah. Have they spoke to you about extending it beyond that at all, or is the club keeping that on hold for the moment?
I'm not really too sure yet. I don't really concentrate on that kind of stuff. I just try and concentrate on myself and the football, and then obviously you got your agent to do that talking. At the moment, I'm not really concentrated on that. I'm concentrated on trying to get myself in the best shape possible. hopefully to get minutes with Blackburn in the Championship till the end of the season. And if not, then I'll be in good stead for the start of next season.
Yeah. So how old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 23.
23. So where do you see your career going? Do you think you can make it all the way to the Prem?
I think I can. Obviously, mentally, I probably need to become more strong. Like Tails said, he's employed someone. I've employed someone as well to look at that side of the game. I think it's massively overlooked, and I feel so much better being able to speak to someone about that. Just about like what you're feeling all the time. Football's a tough game. It's when it's not going right for you, it really does sit in your mind, and it's tough. So, like I say, I've done that. So I'm just really looking forward to what's coming my way. Obviously, I'm going to work as hard as possible, and I really believe that I will make it all the way. And I think if you don't believe that, then you're wasting your time being a footballer, really, because you've got to back yourself first and foremost.
Yeah, and I know every Southend fan will keep an eye on your progress.
Oh, well, I appreciate that.
We're going to go on now to fans' questions.
Okay.
We've had quite a few. Some of them are all of the same nature. Adam Strutt and Kieran Staggs both want to know how you get that barnet so beautiful.
It's a lot of hard work, mate. I don't suggest it. I can't really tell you, mate. It's just you just got to grow it as long as possible, really, and then once you're at that length, you just get out of the shower and it'll just go like you want it to. Well, that's my what happens to me anyway. Just get out of the shower and then it just dries weird. So yeah, I've gone through some weird stages of the hairs over my time, but now as it's locked down, there's more of these haircuts coming along. Obviously the barber's being shut. Walking down the street and I'm seeing a lot more Harties about.
Yeah. Dan Thomas wants to know what hair gel you use.
I don't really use any. I do have a little bit of wax somewhere, but I don't really use it. It's just natural, really. I don't know. It's a weird question, that, but I like it.
So I don't know if you watched the Taylor Moore interview.
I have, yeah, I did watch it.
Yeah,
just out of curiosity. That's what I say.
So Brad Cooper asked him if he was coming for a beer with Southend fans, and Taylor said he'll be down to Peterboat. Brad wants to know if you're going to be joining him.
I'll join him. Just when all this calms down, I'll be there. I'll come see everyone. I remember Tails liked that place. I think I'd only been once, and that was a team bonding thing. But I seem to remember Tails liking it as soon as the sun come out. Yeah.
Good. Nathan Hart wants to know your proudest moment so far in your career.
I'd say I've got quite a few, really. I'd say probably making my debut for Liverpool. Obviously, it was an unbelievable feeling for me personally to achieve that. Even if it was a pre-season game, but still the opportunity to play under that kind of manager of Jurgen was unbelievable, and the kind of players that was around me was unbelievable. I'll never forget that. And I'd put close to it that the feeling of staying up.
Yeah.
It was, like I say, it was just a kind of a relief, but it was just, honestly, it was something you can't really describe. The feelings, the goosebumps that you get. But I still watch videos of it now. Remember that the video analysis person sent us a video before it, and honestly, it was unbelievable. I probably could have run 6 games straight off just off that video, mate, that he played before that game. Honestly, it got me fired up. But yeah, I'd say them two really was a standout.
Cool. Toby Peters wants to know your favourite game at Southend apart from Sunderland.
I'd have to say Bradford, even though I didn't do that great. Like I say, just to see the boys perform like that, really. Like I say, I didn't really do great, but some of the goals that went in was just frightening.
Yeah.
Obviously, the standouts was Humps on his debut as well. And I think he took a lot of confidence from that. And I think he started to really grow as a player.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say that one.
Yeah. I feel like you've answered this already, but Ben Humphrey wants to know: did Southend offer to get you back after the season?
I think, obviously, I don't really know because I wasn't really concentrating on that, like I said. But I think there was probably a couple of discussions maybe early on in the window. But I don't think there was anything real serious in it. But like I say, I would love to be honest with that question, but I just don't have any idea.
Yeah. And Freddie Coe wants to know, given a chance, would you ever come back to Southend?
100%. I'd love to. Like I say, it's not just the football team. I love the place, I love the people. They're all so nice around there. And I genuinely think that the club will strive to places that maybe it's never been before. Maybe it's needed this little knockback to really build something special. And maybe in the future, whenever that may be, it'll be amazing to be part of.
Yeah. And the final question is, if you could give any words of advice to 7-year-old you, what would that be?
It would just be to just carry on being hungry and just carry on. I think it's a big cliche, but at the end of the day, trying to be football, it's about chasing dreams. Obviously, everyone's seeing the stats of how hard it is to become a top footballer, and obviously it takes a lot of sacrifices. But from where I am now, it's all been worth it. So maybe not going to them parties when I was a kid, or maybe not going out all the time, doing them kind of things. It is a sacrifice at the time. You do want to go, you do want to see your mates, you do want to do that. But to be where I am now, I'm so privileged, and obviously there's only a small amount of people that can be a footballer really, and to be part of this profession is amazing. So I'd say for anyone trying to be a footballer, it's just about just trying to stay real hungry for it, and opportunities will always find you if you deserve them. That's what I truly believe anyway.
Nice. So the last thing we're going to do is, even though you are still young in your career, you have played with some pretty good players. So I'm going to ask you for your favourite 11, any formation, when you're ready.
Oh, that's tough. I'm going to have to put friends in here as well. I'm going to start off in goal with Bish. Honestly, mate, I can't even speak highly enough about that guy. He used to get in, I think, at like 7 o'clock in the morning and wouldn't leave till everyone was gone. Like, he was so energized by being in the building. He loved it. And it kind of really brought me back, thinking, whoa, this guy's amazing. And then that was even before really seeing him play. And then I just thought, oh my God, this guy's going places. And obviously, he's got an unbelievable move now. He's got an unbelievable chance to kind of make it in the big leagues, really. So I definitely put him in there. He's not just a great footballer; he's a great guy. Unbelievable guy, yeah. I'll move on to right back. I could put someone from Liverpool in it, but I'm not going to put Elvis in it. Again, unbelievable guy. Hilarious man, really is a hilarious guy. Got on with him really well, and he's going to have a hell of a career wherever it may be. But like I say, he's a top guy. He's a top footballer. And even though I think he's a lot younger than me, I learned a lot from him. Watching him play and watching him defend, and watching how hungry he was really. I thought he was unbelievable. Left back, I'd say Robertson. Obviously, being at Liverpool, looking up to him, he was like, whoa, this guy. Honestly, so much energy and so much enthusiasm, really, just to try and I don't even know, just makes unselfish runs all the time. He's always pressing people. He's got unbelievable crossing ability. But so I'd have to say Robbo, yeah.
Could you see that he was going to make it, like, obviously, to be regarded as one of the best left backs ever?
I think as soon as he got it really on the clock, really, I think it was his mentality change as a player. Obviously, he fits right into the way Klopp plays, doesn't he, with his energy. And I think he just, obviously, he already had that natural ability of being a good crosser of the ball. And I think it's just come together so well. And obviously now, like you say, he's probably one of the best fullbacks in the world, just like Trent is on the other side. And what player he is, by the way. So Elvis, if you're watching, mate, I'll just put you above Trent. I'll give you a message after, mate, yeah. Centre half, you got to go with your mate, Taylor Moore. Like great guy, gonna have an unbelievable career, wherever that may be again. Hopefully he makes it all the way. I can see him make it all the way because I'm not sure. Obviously, he's one of my best mates. So I can be honest with him. He's got every attribute that he needs to push on really, and like he's done this year, he has really pushed on at Bristol, and hopefully he can carry on doing that in the future.
Yeah.
Other centre half. When I was a young guy growing up, I used to go train with the Liverpool first team, Carragher.
Mm-hmm.
What a role model. He always the first to say hello to you, how you doing? And just watching him train, he was just unbelievable. Worked so hard every day, even though when I was there, he was getting on a bit, and he was still running 100%. You know, like dog with a bone, really. And obviously, when you're a young kid watching that, it's amazing to see. Obviously, someone who's accomplished so much doing that is what every young footballer wants to see, really, to try and replicate.
Yeah.
Similar, really, being a kid growing up, watching him play and then being able to train with him and play with him. I say centre mid, you've got to go with Gerrard.
Mm-hmm.
I remember obviously just training with him a couple of times. And I was just thinking, like, this guy's a genius. I remember just watching his passing after training, just sat on the ball and just watched him, and it was honestly frightening. And like Harry, he was such a nice guy. Every day you come in, he'd shake your hand and say, "How you doing, mate? You okay?" And that really, obviously, as a young kid, that gives you so much enthusiasm, really, just to try and be what he is and try and get to the places he has, really. But yeah, I remember playing in the game with him. I just thought, oh my God, this guy's a joke. So yeah, it'd be him, and then just in front of him, it'd be Coutinho. I remember some of the training sessions I took part with him. It was just carnage. He just put it through people's legs for fun. So yeah, I'd put him in there, and then next to him, I put the big talking point at the minute. I put Jordan Henderson. Again, like you're saying about all of them, they all work so hard. Just doing extra running at the end, and that's his game, really, isn't it? And he's obviously got unbelievable football ability too, and he's really shown.
Yeah.
Left wing's tough. Left wing. I'll come back to the wingers. I'll go straight up top. I'm going to put Coxey up top.
Mm-hmm.
Born and bred finisher. It's ridiculous. Used to watch him in training and just think, like, you can see why he's had this kind of career. Used to work on it every day, though. Never took an easy route, and like I say, you can see why he's had such a good career. Frightening, really. And same on the other hand, I'd put Stevie, putting him in for his finishing, really, and also for what he did at the end of the season.
Yeah,
keeping the boys up. Because without him, without that goal, you never know. Probably might not be talking about this happening now. So yeah, I put Stevie up there. Wingers is really. I don't know about wingers. Wingers is really tough. I'm going to have to squeeze Trent in, so I'm just going to push him up a line. Put Elvis and Trent on the right. Trent, obviously grown up really with Trent up through all the ages. I think he was 2 years below me, which is frightening to say. But even when I was a kid and was training with him, he was possessed with winning. Like, honestly, he was possessed with it, and obviously that shows now, and that shows what that's where he is right now and what he's accomplished. I remember just watching him and just obviously like his passing range, even when he was like 16, 17 growing up, was unbelievable. And I remember some of the tackles he used to make, and I probably learned quite a bit from him on tackling, because I do love a good slide tackle every now and again. As you could probably see about my yellow card record at Southend, but yeah, I put Trent there. I couldn't not squeeze him in, I don't think.
Nice. And who's your manager?
I'd put a mixture between Klopp and Pauli.
It's a nice duo.
Yeah, nice duo. I think they work well together. And also, I've got to give a mention to Kevin Keane, obviously the assistant manager.
Yeah.
Amazing man. helped me so much through my time. Stayed in the hotel quite a bit, so I had a lot of me and Bunny Tails had quite a lot of meals with him. Genuinely really nice man, and an unbelievable football knowledge. Taught, like I say, he's taught me so much. Dragged me to the side sometimes and just told me things, and obviously taught me so much. And I probably owe some of the success that I had in Southend to Kevin. Obviously, he moved on in the end. He went, I think he's at West Ham now. So, yeah, all the best to Kevin. But I just thought I could not mention him for what he did.
Yeah, nice. Well, I've really enjoyed speaking to you this evening. Thank you for taking your time out.
And you, mate. It's been enjoyable.
Yep. So that brings an end to our 10th episode of Charity Cup Chats. Once again, it is all for charity. So if you can, watching this and enjoying, get us to £1,000, that'd be great. Cheers, Sam. And like I said earlier, I'm sure every fan will be watching your progress, and hopefully you can make it to the top.
Oh, thank you. And send me your address for this shirt, and I'll send it tomorrow.
Oh, thank you. Cheers.
No
I
worries,
appreciate
brother.
that. Thank you.
All right.